This is the manufacturer palette tutorial in Scilab. Starting off today's lesson, you'll notice that I have several palettes open on my screen already. One for vinyls, one for foils, and one for Paint 1. And depending on which features you purchased when you bought Scilab will determine which manufacturer's palettes you have access to. So I'm going to delete these, and I'll show you how to open one up. To do that, you'll want to go to the context menu and select Open Manufacturer Palette. You'll want to search your palette folders, which opens up a series of subfolders for vinyls, Paint 1 foils, Fantastic, Engrave, and Color Guides. So we're going to be searching for vinyls today, and we'll use Avery, Opaque, and A3. So double click on that to open it. And that is how to open a manufacturer palette. One thing I would like to mention is that each of these palettes are like your shop palette, except that the colors are organized by manufacturer family. For the next part, let's suppose I use a lot of Avery vinyls. One thing I could do from the shop palette context menu is choose load and then set one of the Avery palettes as my default, so that every time I go to start a new job, these colors will be automatically loaded in my palette. So to do that, again, I'll go to the context menu, select load, and set default. Going to back up, choose Avery, and let's choose Opaque again, and use A3. And now every time I hit new, you'll notice that I have a new palette at the bottom, which is my Avery palette, which I just set as a default. The same thing could be done with foil colors for thermal printing, or with spot colors for color matching systems. Alright, lastly, let's suppose I want to maintain my default shop palette, but I would like to customize it somewhat. So to do that, I'll want to go to the context menu and select Open Manufacturer Palette. I'm going to search my palette folders for vinyls. Under Avery, I'm going to search for Opaque, and we'll use A3 again. And that opens up my manufacturer palette. So let's just say for this example, my customer uses a lot of the colors number 1 through 6. So I'm just going to drag them and drop them into my default palette. And now that I've selected the colors that I'm going to be using most often, I can save my palette. So to do that, again, I'll go to the context menu, select save and save as. I'm going to save this in my regular Scilab directory under rich, and I'll click save. And now I can go back to my context menu and choose load and set this palette as my default. And click save. Now whenever I start a new job, I'll have these colors available without needing to search for them. And that brings us to the end of this tutorial.